Yeah, you. All right. Yes, you. Pay attention. We're going through here the third day of Black History Month, Bubba Shabbat, the Black Rose Nation, and we're diving into Carter G. Woodson's The Miseducation of the Negro. The man who started what we got now is Black History Month. I know a lot of people out there speaking on it, promoting it, putting up flags, sharing, getting all kinds of government money. If you're going on and on and on with that government taxpayer black money for Black History Month, and you don't know anything what his brother has been written, been doing, and been saying, well, please pause, reflect back, watch through our videos, especially this one, and get some knowledge, get some wisdom so you can impart some of the understanding on this third day of February. This month, or at least for half of it, we're going to go through a whole bunch of our books, find out what we underlined or circled as we were reading through these that we thought was valuable when we go back through or when someone else picks it up. Without any further ado, let's dive right into The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. Peace, brother. It states, the mere imparting of information is not education. Above all things, the effort must result in a person thinking and doing for himself. The only question which concerns us here is whether these educated persons are actually equipped to face the ordeal before them or unconsciously contribute to their own undoing by perpetuating the regime of the oppressor. No systemic effort toward change has been possible for taught the same economics, same history, philosophy, literature, and religion which have established the present code of morals. The Negro's mind has been brought under the control of his oppressor. And when you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. The same education process which inspires and stimulates the oppressor with the thought that he is everything and has accomplished everything worthwhile, depresses and crushes at the same time the spark of genius in the Negro, but make him feel that his race does not amount to much and never will measure up to the standards of other people. The Negro, thus educated, is a hopeless liability to the race. Stinging. If the educated Negro could go off and be white, he might be happy. But only the mulatto now and then can do this. The large majority of this class must go through life denouncing white people to blacks and denouncing blacks to whites. Yo, man. We're going to get our RahCOON radar and find out where these things are in correct situations. Offer some knowledge and wisdom to promote some of that understanding, like we've been saying. Miseducation of the Negro. Getting out of this country to relieve themselves of our stifling traditions and to recover from their education. Got to get out of the pot you're in sometimes, you know. You don't realize you're being slowly cooked. We're on the East Coast. You're being a lobster. However, the usual way now is for the whites to work out their plans behind closed doors, have them approved by a few Negroes serving nominal on a board, and then employ a white or mixed staff to carry out the program. This is not interracial cooperation. It is merely the ancient idea of calling upon the inferior to carry out the orders of the superior. Brother Woodson, what else we got for you? His religion is merely a loan from the whites who have enslaved and segregated the Negroes. And the organization, though largely an independent Negro institution, is dominated by the thought of the oppressor of the race. P.U. Oh yes, Carter G. Woodson. What are we underlining? Your miseducation of the Negro. There we go. If the Negro in the ghetto must eternally be fed by the hand that pushes him into the ghetto, he will never be strong enough to get out of the ghetto. It is vain that we talk of being men if we do not the work of men. We must become valuable to society in other departments of industry than those servile ones from which we rapidly have been excluded. I'm having a hard time reading. When we can build as well as live in houses, when we can make as well as wear shoes, when we can produce as well as consume food, then we shall be valuable in this society. The racial racketeering might be a politician, a minister, a teacher, a director of a community center, or head of social uplifting agency. As long as he did certain things and expressed the popular opinion on questions, he lacked nothing. And those who followed him found their way apparently better paid as the years went by. His leadership then was recognized, and the ultimate undoing of the Negroes in this community was assured. COINTELPRO. The race needs workers, not leaders. Such workers will solve the problems which race leaders talk about and raise money to enable them to talk more about. When you hear a man talking, always inquire as to what he is doing or what he has done for humanity. Oratory and resolutions do not avail much. If they did, the Negro race would be in paradise on earth. Oh yeah. Oh, this brother's deep. Let's see. What else does Brother Carter G. Woodson of Miseducation Negro have to say? Fact that the race question is being brought before black and white children daily in their homes, in the streets, through the press, and on the rostrum. How then can this school ignore the duty of teaching the truth while these other agencies are playing up falsehoods? They have been taught facts of history, but have never learned to think. Their conception is that you go to school to find out what other people have done, and then you go out in life to imitate them. Are you a clone? In this particular respect, Negro education is a failure and disastrous, because in the present predicament, the race is especially in need of a vision and invention to give humanity something new. The world does not want and will never have the heroes and heroines of the past. What this age needs is an enlightened youth, not to undertake the task like the past, but to imbibe the spirit of these great men and women and answer the present call of duty with equal nobleness of soul. The chief value in studying the records of others is to become better acquainted with oneself and with one's possibilities to live and to do in the present age. A real call to action, this book. A real sting on education and a real sting on puppets. It seems only a reasonable proposition then that if under the present system which produces our leadership in religion, politics, and business, we have gone backwards towards serfdom, or have at least been kept from advancing to the real freedom, it is high time to develop another sort of leadership with a different educational system. Following the religious teachings of the traducers, the Negro will not show any more common sense than the people would in permitting criminals to enact the laws and establish the procedure of the courts by which they are being tried. Oh, yeah. Let's see, what else you saying? The education of the masses has not enabled them to advance very far in making a living, and has not developed the Negro the power to change this condition. It is revealed that in many establishments, the Negro, when a young man starts as a janitor or porter and dies at an old age in the same position. Negroes do not need someone to guide them to what persons of other races have developed. They must be taught to think and develop something for themselves. They did so and discovered that 137 Negro families in the neighborhood seriously objected to buying from Negroes and using articles handled by them. These Negroes then had to do the groundwork of uprooting that inferiority, which had resulted from their miseducation. They say North America, 98% of every dollar that the Negro makes is spent on another person, goes to another race, another culture store. We live off 2% of our money. It'll be very wise for Negroes to concentrate on the wise use of money and the evil results from the misuse of it. Brother Carter. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is heavy. Carter G. Woodson. I mean, I don't know if we read this during COVID. The greatest problem now awaiting solution is the investigation of the differential resistances of races to diseases. What are the diseases of which Negroes are more susceptible than whites? What are the diseases of which the whites are more susceptible than Negroes? The Negroes escape yellow fever and influenza, but the white man dies. The white man withstands syphilis and tuberculosis fairly well, but the Negro affected with these maladies easily succumbs. These questions offer an inviting field of research for Negro medical students. When are you writing this, bro? No, I don't know if that was ever brought up during Black History Month and Carter G. Woodson and diseases during that time when we went through with the Big C. Another factor the Negro needs is a new figure in politics, one who will not concern himself so much with what others can do for him as with what he can do for himself. He will know sufficient about the system of government not to carry his troubles into the federal functionaries, and thus confessing himself a failure in the community in which he lives. The new Negro in politics then will appeal to his own and to such friends of the other races in his loyalty as believe in social justice. If he does something for himself, others will do more for him. The Negro should not censor the Republican Party for forgetting him, and he should not blame the Democratic Party for opposing him. Neither can the South blame anyone by itself for its isolation in national politics. Any people who will vote the same way for 3 generations without thereby obtaining results ought to be ignored and disenfranchised. Real politics, the science of government, is deeply rooted in the economic foundation of the social order. A class of people slightly lifted above poverty, therefore, can never have much influence in political circles. The new Negro in politics, moreover, must not be a politician. He must be a man. He must try to give the world something rather than extract something from it. Those who have not learned to do for themselves and have depended solely on others never obtain any more rights or privilege in the end than they had in the beginning. The oppressor have always indoctrinated the weak with his interpretation of the crimes of the strong. That's a good one. If you can thereby determine what he will think, you will not need to worry about what he will do. The Negro can be made proud of his past only by approaching it scientifically and giving his own story to the world. What others have written about the Negro during the last 3 centuries have been mainly for the purpose of bringing him where he is today and holding him there. Selected readings from Brother Carter G. Woodson. This is a good time to self-reflect. Are we those leaders in which he spoke of that are the puppets put up there because we walk the line, hold the words right, come up against the Rockies? What will your legacy be? Passing on strength. We're culture farming here. 2024, Black History Month, Black Rose Nation, Bubba Shabazz. The Miseducation of the Negro, Book 3. We'll see you tomorrow.